Okay, I want to show some wrist techniques for when someone is experiencing pain while pressing down. And would you mind getting me a little bit of lotion in that pot? That'd be great. So I'm going to just squeeze down, and her body may naturally adjust a little bit with just even simple squeezing. But I can already, as I come in here, you can feel a little bit of crunchiness. So I want to, what I would probably do is, do you remember when we did the washing machine technique?
I use that all the time.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, that's going to be a go-to one. Like, she's getting some little adjustments in here. But what I'm really feeling, it's getting some movement in here, but these joints that translate from the wrist into the finger, right in here, there's not very much mobility. It's kind of stuck compared to, like when I go in here with this, there's a little bit more give. When I come in here, I'm looking more between these two. You see how like I can go like that and there's movement? When I come in here, there's not quite as much. Right here in the joint is really kind of stuck. And that would impact if she comes in, right, and presses too much. It presses here and here, which it would shoot up like that. So I'll probably just do, before trying to do the washing machine and getting the muscles the bones to move, I want to do some specific work in the musculature. So this is probably, I'm imagining it's probably typing and computer related. And I may have her go through typing motions. Not yet though. Yeah, so you may experience some of your symptoms while I get into this point. Do you yet? It started. So that's a sign that we're kind of in the right zone. So I'm just gonna, with a little bit of lotion, come up here, hold a tender spot, and then rock it kind of washing machine style back and forth. How's that, Sibylla?
That's good. Okay.
There we go. Just trying to reclaim a little bit of mobility in those tiny muscles of your hands and the bones in between. You can, maybe you even on yourself can, feel that, like cold, where's those, and then play with your own fingers to see what muscles and what might do that, to just give you a sense. I'm also going to come in between the fingers and kind of get some slack from above. And this is where it's getting a little tighter. Are you okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah, more intense. Okay, so I'm going to get a layer of the top. I'm running into some resistance through here, so I'm going to also, you think of the bones in the fingers, so I'm going to get in between the bones here, but I'm also going to get in between the bones here. So sometimes if I feel too much resistance on one side, I'll flip over and get some more slack from the other and kind of oscillate back and forth. Sorry if I'm in your way. So some of this you guys will seem familiar. Some of the kind of plowing along the forearms I've shown before, the ironing. There we go. Now you let me know if it gets symptomatic again, okay? All right, slowly make your fingers flat against the table. Open up your palm of your hand. And now make some space between your fingers like this. Yeah, wider. Good. And let go. Sorry, I know this is going to be a little intense. Wow. So part of what I'm feeling with her, in addition to there being constriction in between here, is some of the webbing, the fascial webbing on the palm of her hand is kind of compacted a little bit. And you know that even if you look at how I kind of pull it in, can you see how that would move some of the bones on the flip side? Okay. I'm changing angles. Yeah, this might you may feel symptomatic. Yeah. I want you to slowly, like you're typing in a typewriter, begin to type. Yeah, that's it. Wow, right in there. Okay, so she's got a hot spot right in here. So I'm gonna just kind of, instead of doing intense elbow pressure, I'm gonna just kind of give her a little breather and go back and forth. And I can actually feel this one little tendon is really tight, almost like a little bit of a speed bump when I come over it. Can you even see that with how it impacts her middle finger when I go like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably from, like, you know, one of her finger clicks. Okay, see when I come right over that tendon? Watch. Yeah. So she's probably got a little mild inflammation of the tendon. A little bit, not huge. So what I'm doing is, instead of coming on the top of the tendon, right, I'm coming in the muscle. I'm coming a little bit sideways, so getting kind of a little bit underneath and then pushing to the side, and then moving. There you go. Let's look at the finger around. And there's several. I'm now on a little bit of a different one now. So I'm both on the side of this one and on the top of one of these here. Now I'm on the top of the original one I started. So, Asabella, curl your middle finger. Curl, curl. Yep. And then straighten. Good. And then neutral. So I'm trying to basically claim as much slack in the fascia tissue as possible, so it'll reduce the tug of war on the tendons and the muscles, and then by doing that, hopefully we'll give enough space for her wrist bone and the metacarpals to go back in place. I want you to play with your fingers. Here's another hot, slower, slower, slower. Nice, good. Let go. Because if this was her hot spot, and take a look. Like if you had a you see directly through her hot spot here, muscularly, tendon, fascia wise, goes right around to where the back of her hand and the bones weren't moving very well. You can even see from the redness from where I worked earlier. I'm going to come where you are, Allison, in just a minute. So we'll switch places. Okay. Here we go. There we go. Test it a little bit. Sit up and put the pressure on your wrist, and let's see what it's like. I might need to do some fine tuning.
That was enough already. Like, I mean, I feel it here, but it gets really intense like here.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Improvement? No improvement?
Not so
much. Okay. You know, and what may happen is, you know, you might receive this work and then have to, like, maybe just ice it a little bit and give it a couple days to process.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to do now is I want to come up where the muscular tension's in here, where I think it's affecting the rotation of the ulna. Because a lot of times the wrist issues are coming from like up here. It's going to be really tight.
From?
It's going to be tight up here. Are from up more in the forearm than in the wrist itself. Right, didn't you feel that? Yeah. Slowly wiggle your fingers. So I think what I want to do is maybe take a pause in doing the video for a moment.